Hello and welcome to my next video in the Signs in Love Venus series. I was going to do Libra, but I felt more called to look at the fiery rams of the zodiac, the Aries in love. So we are doing Aries today. I have a lot to get on with today, so I have a couple of notes that I have made, and I think this one should be pretty straightforward. If you're an Aries, then this is for you. If you have your Venus in Aries, if you're able to find out where your chart is placed, this video is also for you. Perhaps you might have other risings in Aries, or maybe your moon's in Aries, anything to do with Aries and matters of the heart. I'm kind of trying to cover as much ground as I can. As always, I am just letting you know, I get comments quite often about, that's not the answer, and that's not the only sign in the sunshine. I get all this type of shit all the time. It is so exhausting having to explain to people. We now know that there are over 40,000 different astrological combinations in terms of nodes, squares, placements, houses, Venus, Mercury, Mars. It is so complex. Astrology is so incredibly complex. And we've got to take into account the person's culture. We've got to take into account the signs that raised them. It goes on and on and on and on and on. And there's no possible way that any astrologer could cover everything for every person in one video. It is so crazy to me that I even have to explain that. But God, I'm already starting to laugh, and I've just started recording this video. That's people for you. Need I say more? If you're out there listening, for Christ's sake. So these are generalizations coming from a perspective of my life experience. So that being said, let's get on with the video. Now, I am giving this to you real, and I'm giving it to you fucking raw as hell. I might be saying some things in this one that might be a little bit upsetting, that might be a little bit triggering. I know Aries is one of the signs that knows these guys take a really hard beating. Like a lot of Aries, they know that they don't have a good rap in the zodiac. They know that. And this is not about beating anyone up. We're just looking at, how to be a better lover, learn to be a better lover, or maybe you have a lover that is an Aries or their placement is in Venus, okay? Now, for the record, my Venus is in Scorpio, but my moon is in the Aries. Aries, the god of war, okay? So there's a lot of fire, a lot of passion. So I'm coming at this from a really honest place, all right? So that being said, Aries in love is fast-paced. They are in it to win it, okay? If you're trying to seduce them, I'm going to give you some tips. So get your pen handy and start writing it down, or you might want to come back and listen to this later. If you're trying to get an Aries and keep an Aries, there has to be a level of resistance from you that doesn't deter them. So this is, as much as people think Aries are rockheads, bricklayers, carpenters, blue-collar workers, and most of them really are, to be honest, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I prefer that, to be honest. This is a complicated sign to love. It's a complicated person to get to be in love with you. You have to keep a challenge to keep an Aries in love. You have to lead them to a place where there's always more, that you've got add-ons up your sleeve waiting to give them. Once the Aries has conquered you and they have you, nothing will repel the Aries from you to cheat on you or leave you more than feeling that there's nothing left to explore with you. All right? So if you're taking anything out of this video so far, hear that. That's why when you meet the Aries, or the Venus in Aries, these guys are about adventure. They're about conquest. They're about challenge. Now, Aries can't get stronger, and I've learned this in my own life, so I'm totally speaking from experience here. Part of me accepting the physical world and life here is that it is all based on resistance and suffering and obstacles and challenges and mental gymnastics. That's what life actually requires. So hard times create strong men. Good times create weak men. And weak men create hard times. I hope that made sense. If you need to pause that, go back and re-listen to that. But if I could say anything, that would be my key statement here when it comes to dealing with this sign. So to date them straight up, if you're looking to get them in bed, they're going to already know how to get your clothes off. Okay, jumping straight into it. These guys know the process of love. They know the process of winning, and they see you as a trophy. Aries are not interested in someone who is low-hanging fruit. They go for, let me put it this way. And there's no shame here. By the way, this is not a shame-basing video or a shameful series. These guys date up, and I am the same. You have to have something that I don't already have for you to be of any interest to me or the Aries. Okay, I'm speaking directly from my Aries moon. You have to be stronger. You have to be more talented. You have to be bigger. You have to be able to eclipse me. And that's part of what the Aries challenge is that they secretly want you to eclipse them because they want to be all inspired by your power and passion and energy, because they have that too. I have that too. But secretly we don't. Because if you did, then I wouldn't be in control. Okay, so there is a power play that goes on with Aries. A lot of Aries take the bad rap. A lot of Aries men are sadomasochistic as fuck. All right? They love subs. This is findom. This is like having cash subs that you send money into. They have a fans only. They've got a Twitter account where they've got thousands of people sending them money, and they'll send pictures of their feet or their dick or their ass. And there is a power play that goes on here. To Aries, it's a game. To Aries, it's all just fun. By the way, a side note, which I want to add in this video, and this is quite one of the most disturbing things I'll ever see on an app, like a dating app or a hookup app, particularly in gay culture, is when someone says, it's all just a bit of fun. That makes my blood run cold. When someone says that, when someone uses the line, just here to keep things spicy, my blood runs cold. Whenever I hear the term, don't take this too seriously, okay? I'm going to translate that for you right now, so get this and please listen to me. Anything with that type of mindset, you stay away from it. That is a very dark, reductionary miniaturizing version or way of looking at other people, looking at dating, and reducing other people to an object or a toy or a doll that they will play with. And then they basically what they're saying is, I'm going to do whatever I want and you're going to agree with it to a sense. And then it's all in the name of fun. It all comes under the umbrella of exploration. Yeah. Think again. Okay, get away from anyone that uses that type of terminology, because and this comes into Aries, right? This is very, very Aryan. Me. The baby. Aries is the baby. It's all about me. They've got a big case of the me's. And I mean worse than fucking Leo. If you're in a relationship with Aries, a big component of their own self in a relationship is that they're in a relationship for them. They see it as a relationship through their eyes, not through the relationship's eyes, where it's a connection between two people. These guys will domineer you, degrade you, demand things of you, and Aries tend to have absolutely unrealistic expectations in relationships. And if it's an Aries woman, a lot of Aries women will devalue their partner, demasculate their partner to the point where the male doesn't even know where he fits in anymore, because she's taken on the balls. She's cut off his balls, put them in her purse, and completely controlling him. That is the dark side of an Aries lover. All right, so they don't want a sub. They secretly do want a sub because they want to be the leader. You're not allowed to eclipse them. But at the same time, when they devalue you to a point where you're completely incapacitated and on the floor because you never stood up for yourself, then they'll disrespect you and hate you for it. Same thing that the dark side of the opposite of the on the wheel, which is the Pisces energy, which is devalue me, I'll be your sub. And then when you treat them terribly in the bedroom because they wanted you to and they irked you to do it, then they go, how dare you do that to me? You devalued me, when they're the ones that told you to slap them. All right, so this is getting heavy, and I know I'm going deep right now. We're peeling back the onion layers. You might need to pause this, but I'm just to keep up with what I'm saying here, because this is hard to hear, but it is the truth. Okay, it is the fucking truth. I have dated Aries. I know this sign. I understand this sign. My moon is in Aries, all right? So it's not easy for me to say this, all right? So Aries, in terms of relationships, it is the chase. It is the challenge. This is the sign that will jump on an aeroplane and come over to the other side of the world to meet you. These guys would be on 90-day fiance or some shit like that, yeah? Relationships and life have to be on their terms, and otherwise it's not going to work for them. Now, if you're after an Aries, you have to, I don't like saying this line because it is disgusting and I don't agree with it, but in this case, it is applicable with an Aries in general. Treat them not mean, but keep them keen. So don't give away all your secrets. Don't tell them everything about yourself. Don't go too deep too fast. They don't want that. They want you to give them an idolized version of the version that you are to them, which is of high value and a prize. And if you can be that, they go into their masculine, the Aries will get up, go to work, get the money, and keep you safe. They'll love you by their actions. They're protectors, they're providers, they're leaders. This sign will get burned over and over and over. They'll jump into the fire and save people, okay? Just to be the hero. Aries, if you're listening, you don't have to be a superhero to get love. Although you come across as a superhero, you don't always have to do that. It's exhausting. All right, to capture the Aries, you have to create the elusiveness of the hunt. That's what keeps the Aries around. Always have enthusiasm, passion, and you have to be a gentle, and I'm trying to lower my voice now into my cadence of my voice. So you've got to be a gentle, soft place for them to fall. Okay, so when they've had a hard day out there on the battlefield at work, and these guys put a lot of their heart and soul into their work, they really do, because they see the work as an extension of them. They're not going to have anything in their workplace make them look bad. And that's hell usually in most workplaces, because workplaces are just like episodes of Survivor. Bitching, bullying, backstabbing, favoritism. It goes on and on and on. Hence why I'm self-employed and I can't deal with humans so much anymore. But the point I'm trying to make is when they come home and they walk through the door, a lot of the time they don't want an argument. They don't want to fight. They've been fighting and arguing all day. They'd rather just come home, lay their head on your knee and have a cuddle and have some level of safety there, where they don't always have to be hyper zesty and hyper vibing. If that makes sense. Hope that made sense. So this sign is a pioneer. They will move mountains. They will part the sea. They need obstacles. You need to create obstacles to keep them coming back. If it's all over too quick, like Sagittarius, and you went too far with them too quickly, you'll never hear from them again. If you get all emotional and you're crying all the time and you're really like needy and clingy, bye. The Aries will be gone. Like the Sagittarius, you'll never see them ever again. Okay? They don't want to deal with your emotions and your crying too quickly. With the emotional component of a relationship, it's passion first, deep emotional conversations about who you are later. Okay, it's not like Scorpio, where Scorpio and Gemini want to get inside your head. Aries doesn't want that. They want to get into your body. So these guys will know how to seduce you. They know how to sweet talk you, and they know how to get your clothes off in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Your panties are on the floor. That's how quick this sign will work. Like Sagittarians, like myself, I know how to seduce someone. And I can tailor myself to match that person. It's a very dangerous little game. That's why it makes me very uncomfortable and I feel quietly sick when I know an Aries male is dating a very young person, because the power dynamic will be completely unbalanced and the other person will not even see it coming. And I've seen that many times play out. Scorpios do that a lot as well, by the way. They'll take someone who's incapacitated and basically trap them with a snare. Aries will do the same. So when they come into the room or they come into the meeting or on the date, they come in with this bravado and swagger and security that they look like they offer you to make you feel safe. And by the way, please understand it is just a game. A lot of it is a game. You're game to them. You're on the hunting ground. They're hunting you. Okay, that's what these guys do. A dark Aries is think of the movie Pretty Woman. Think of the character Edward. That character would be an Aries. Buying businesses, buying properties, businesses consuming other businesses. Made $100,000 today on the stock exchange. That is an Aries, all right? They love power. They need power. It is the pursuit of power. One of the things that I've noticed with Aries and Sagittarius a little bit as well, they can achieve a lot of success earlier in their life. And then later in their life, they have an existential crisis. because they've gone so high, so fast, so quickly. They've had these incredible highs. Actually, this is me speaking personally as well. I've had some really extreme highs in my 20s, highs that a regular person wouldn't even ever come close to attaining. And that was my pursuit. That's what I wanted. That's what I got. But now, as I've gotten older, it's like you're chasing a high that may never come again. So I live on the memories of things a lot of the time. This does happen with Aries as well. It just does. So a lot of Aries older men, when they start to age, and say if it's like you're a football player and you retire, you'll never be as good or as famous as what you were. You'll only be as good as what you were in your prime. Aries struggle with this a lot, and it does tie into their own sense of self, and it does tie into their own self-worth. So the productivity and the yield of what Aries generates plays a very, very big part in how they feel and how they love themselves. These guys are fiery, they're steamy, they want sex, they want passion, they want high intensity. All right, so it's a very traditional sign in love, okay? Aries is the first sign, it is the baby. So a lot of the time they have tantrums when they don't get what they want. They can be very brutal with how they communicate, with how they talk. They're very direct. They're very direct shooters. These guys, like Sagittarius, we don't need a lover. A lover to me or to an Aries would be a complementary add-on to my life, but it will never be the focus of my life. And that's actually how love's supposed to be, okay? So you've got you, your own individual world, then you've got your partner, they have their own individual world, and as much time as we spend together, we spend equal or more time apart, okay? So, and then we've got the relationship, which is, so there's kind of three things going on. I hope that makes sense. But if you were, like, when we look at Aries and we're looking at Mars, we're looking at such a fiery, energetic vibrance. They've got this zest for life. They've got this, this kind of thing where it's like they want to be number one. In a relationship, they want to feel like they're the only one. Actually, I was looking at her chart the other day and I noticed Rihanna, and I was right, actually. Her Venus is in Aries. She's got a lot of placement in Aries. Rihanna is a Pisces, but that song was on the radio the other day. Only girl in the world. I want you to make me feel like I'm the only girl in the world. That is an Aries personified in love. Nothing else exists, just me. Okay, saying stuff like that to them will turn them on. They want you to feel devoted, but Aries can sometimes take you for granted in a relationship. Okay, once they've got the prize, they've claimed the trophy, they've walked up and picked it up. It's the hard part is the consistency of being gentle and nurturing their partner and loving their partner and being best friends, growing together and holding and keeping each other's flames safe. All right. So if your Aries is in an open relationship, the relationship is already over. If Aries is on Grindr or Scruff, or they want to play with other people, your relationship is so already over. It would just be merely the formalities that would need to be finalized for the divorce, or, like basically what I'm saying here is Aries move very quick, very, very, very quickly. That's why they get a very bad rap. So same with Libra. A really low functioning Libra will do the same thing. Once the relationship's over, they're just going to jump straight back into the bedroom. They're going to jump straight into the sea. They're going to find the next best thing that is available at that time, and they're going to immerse themselves in it as quickly as possible to try and move on from you. So don't be surprised if you break up with a Aries. Aries will, because they're very focused on self, so they'll probably have like a first, second, and third option already waiting in the wings. They'll probably already be texting them to say, come over and let's fuck tonight when you're barely moving out of the house. Don't take it as a negative. Sagittarius does the same thing as well. It's just how they're hardwired. And as I've gotten older, I've begun to understand that about myself and understand that's how the psychology of myself works. And it is definitely the psychology of this sign. I've had partners do this to me as well. We broke up and the next night there was another car parked in their driveway of someone else. They want to move on quick because they see it like, you left me, then fuck you. It's either love me or fuck off. That's the attitude that Aries have. Even if Aries is responsible for the breakup. A lot of them, let me give you a piece of advice. If you meet an Aries and they can't take ownership for their behavior, you must get away from them because they're going to gaslight you, they're going to lie, they're going to manipulate the narrative. A domineering narcissistic Aries is hell to deal with. You'd have to start documenting what they're saying, documenting where they're going. You're going to have to start recording phone conversations because once it all falls apart, Aries is going to bail and they're not going to want to hear about what they did to you. They're just going to get on to the next supply if it's a narcissistic Aries. All right? These guys like to brag. They like to be the center of attention. Let them be. You will not be the star in this relationship. They will be the star. They need all eyes on them. Same as the Leo. It's all about me. So let them brag, but you need to brag as well. You need to have options. You need to make them feel that the world is also your oyster. All right? So you have to be a winning person as well. Aries don't like losers. They don't like losing. Okay, losing, and if your bar isn't raised as high as them and is greatness to them in their similarity, Aries will pick someone else. Okay, they just move on. So you have to have a mutual greatness about you for them to be interested with you because they want someone that's going to come on a journey with them through life, just like the Sag. Okay, so you both combined your greatness. Now we need to look at the placements of their chart, obviously, because not all Aries are like this, but yes, a lot of them are like this. Okay, there's many aspects to anything that comes around Mars, but they want a connection that's going to unfold together. That is what they're wanting. Now, you don't have to have tons of money to impress an Aries. You have to have tons of enthusiasm and just enough craziness, enough wackiness to pursue that. Okay, so being extravagant and expensive isn't going to impress the Aries so much. It'll only be the status part of that. That's what a Leo would like. Aries will live in a caravan. They'll sell everything that they own and move to a different country. They're very spontaneous. All right, so don't think that it's all about the material world because Aries is not about all materiality. Taurus and Scorpios and Capricorns are more like that. They've got a very big, loud boom to their voice. I'm doing it right now. It's a natural boom. And a lot of them take a bad rap because people think that they're too overbearing and you're too much and all this type of thing. It's not even that they mean to do it. That's just naturally their power, that power of an Aries to get shit done. These guys get shit fucking done. All right. So they've got an aura of fame, an aura of opportunity and glory to them. Can you feel the power in my voice? Like as I'm getting this out, like saying the nuances of this. All right. This is a very powerful energy, right? It is looking for truth as well. They don't like fake people. So you've got to be real and you've got to be raw. All right. Aries sometimes come in like a fucking bull in a china shop, but they don't mean to be. It's just that they're like level 10 is your level 1. All right. So seduction tips I could bring up. I've got some notes here. By the way, there's not a script. I'm just kind of going with what I know about these signs. You have to be courageous. They like the idea of dating up. So they know like Sagittarius, I can't expand unless you can accommodate that expansion. So it's the potential of the expansion that will get me with you. If you can't receive me at level where I am now, then how, like, to me, that it can't go anywhere because there's no place for it to go. If you can't even accept in the level that I've gotten to or the Aries has gotten to, then the Aries or I will see it like, well, we can't go further together if you can't even defeat me. So that's kind of how they see it. They're looking for expansion. So they don't want to be trapped. Like Sag, don't get clingy. If you're messaging them, texting them, where are you? When are you coming home? If you're like a needy Cancer or a needy Virgo, they're going to block your ass. Okay, I don't want that. That they can smell that like a dog. They can smell it like that's filthy to them. Okay, don't be clingy. Don't give them everything at once. I want to say that again. It's small steps in the right direction. Give them pieces of yourself, but don't give everything to them. Keep it lighthearted and keep it adventurous. Okay, and then it slowly you work into soulmate conversation comes after marriage. It doesn't come before. Okay, if you bring up any of this soul flame shit, bye, out the door. The Aries will go, never ever to come back again. They are romantic. There is a romantic side. They'll pick the flower from the forbidden tree, the fruit. They will magically make something happen for you. If they feel that you're the one, you're the one. They have very intense tunnel vision when they're focused on their goals and they see you as a goal. That's how they see partnership. These guys will make the first move, which is usually direct, and sometimes their energy can be a little bit overbearing, but I don't mind that. It's better to be direct and get a clear rejection than doing passive aggressive stuff. That's why I can't stand any passive aggressive behavior. It is so ridiculous to an Aries. You may as well just say what you think, get it out on the table, and now everyone knows where we stand, and now we can move forward. If you say that you're okay to an Aries and mislead them into thinking that things are fine, and then they find out that they're not okay and that that the other person had things that they wouldn't share with the Aries will get enraged with them. They'll see that as a betrayal. So it's better to be Aries. What I'm saying is Aries appreciate directness. That's part of their identity. Same as Scorpio. Time is of the essence. So why waste time beating around the bush, playing stupid little games? Like Gemini needs mind games. Like, I want you, but I don't want you. I love you. You're my best friend, but I hate you. And I'm talking about you behind your back to my other friend. And then her friend talks about you. And then I get on the phone and bitch about him. Aries can't be fucked with that. Aries would rip that off. They'd rip a Gemini's head off and throw it in the swimming pool. That is this is the brutality of this sign. It's like clubbing a baby seal. Don't play games with them. It is direct. That's why Aries is very black and white thinking. Don't flirt with other people in front of them. They will leave you. They will abandon you. Okay? Do not do it. Aries are a natural flirt. Just saying. They like the attention. But like I said, it is the chase. Coming into my world, in my level of energy as an Aries moon, it's like coming into a fucking theme park. There is so much shit going on in my life and in my head. Some days it's overwhelming. There's a lot of vata, what we call vata, life force energy. This is the thing that gets shit done. This is my Aries moon, all right? This is the Aries lover as well, is that we are very inspiring people. You will get stronger and smarter and better by default, by just observing us or being around us. Because I'm going to cut out all of your nonsense. I don't care about your self-pity and your excuses. There are no excuses in the Aries world. We don't give a fuck about your excuses. Get on with it. It's not about how you feel all the time. Oh, my feelings. Oh, it's not about that. It's about showing up, doing with what you can, with what you have. Now, Aries are big on commitment when it comes to a task. So if you said that you were going to do it, damn, do it. You will not get any love or compassion or empathy from them. They don't give, Aries won't give a fuck. If you didn't do what you said you were going to do, they are not interested in you. This sign goes by behavior and energy, not words. That's how they work. They're not willing to compromise in a relationship. Like I said, a lot of them have very unrealistic expectations. This sign will not settle. Same with the Leo. They're not going to settle. You have to have something that is truly special. Then and only then will the Aries commit to you. And even then, they're hypergamous. They're always looking around for the next best option. I think that the concept of what a relationship today in modern times is very different to what it was back in the day. These days, relationships, the lines are so blurred and messy as fuck that it's like a big blob of shit. That's how most relationships are. They say a lot of people don't. I don't think a lot of people have the relatedness skills to even cultivate a long-term, healthy, real, committed relationship. So, but yeah, that's quite complex in another video in itself. But I'm just sharing with you that. Okay, so to attract them, be magnetic, be confident, be bold, stand out. Aries have a rebellious spirit. They want you to be able to get on the back of a Harley Davidson and drive off somewhere around windy tracks. They're going to the places where no one wants to go. That's where the Aries wants to go. That's where they're going to go in the bedroom. Yep, it's going to be dirty. It's going to be primal. You know, having sex with a very primal Aries is something that you will not forget. There'll be a dominance control power there. They'll probably spit down your throat. They'll slap you around. They'll punch you, choke you. Like, we're talking hardcore sex, all right? Or the Aries can be very gentle, very kind, very soft. Lots of belly rubs, very gentle, okay? They can be that way, right? An Aries man that has grown old and was once really young and wild, like the horse in him was really wild, and then as he's gotten older has mellowed a little bit, that's where you're going to find the best lovers. Same with the Sages. That's when the older the Sag gets, they age like a fine wine. They become very secure, very like sit on daddy's knee and I'll tell you a story. Yeah, and then while you're sitting on their knee, they're going to start pushing their dick on you and start bouncing. You're going to start bouncing on their dick. All right, they're smooth operators. Probably have lots of tattoos and lots of scars from battles fought. Viking energy. Probably a lot of Aries men have very thick beards. They have a lot of testosterone in their bodies. All right, just how it is. They love power. They like protein. They like going to the gym, lifting heavy weights, doing dumb shit. You know, a lot of straight men, football players, athletes, that type of thing. It's all about glory. Life is a battlefield, all right? So be playful with them. They love play. A lot of the, like I said at the start of this video, when the dark side of the Aries or anyone who uses play as a way to get around pure abuse, this is something that comes up with them a lot. And it will be a train wreck for you and for them, all right? They have a very hard grip on life, and they don't want to have long, boring conversations that go on forever and holding emotional space for you for days. They're not up for that. Nope. If you're crying and inconsolable all the time, you're a sobbing mess. They're not up for that. They'll hold space to a certain point, and then they're going to push you away and cut you off. Okay? They get deep as they age. Aries as a child is hell to deal with. Okay? A lot of Aries women are actually really more like Xena. Xena war cry, yeah, charge on. Okay, do you get it? Do you get it now? Yeah. So I think I've covered quite a lot in here. I'm just thinking about it. Be brave. Give them second chances. Okay, they are. This is a fierce, independent lover. They get attention wherever they go. If you're not giving them enough attention, the Aries will see it, well, I could get more attention from other people when I'm single. All right? So they have a tendency to burn things around them. So if you're not giving them all that attention that they feel that they deserve that love, then they will go off and be independent and just live their life on their own terms. They burn a lot of bridges. A lot of them burn their bridges. They are not in contact with their exes. Okay, they when it's over, it's over. It's very difficult to bring. Same with the Sag and the Scorpios. Very difficult to bring an Aries back to through the door once they've walked out. Once they've lost respect for you, for whatever reason it might be, it's very difficult for them to rekindle the spark, because they would already have started sparking with someone else. That's why it's actually quite difficult to use magic against some Aries. It would be difficult to use magic against me, because Aries have a very, very strong free will. It's very difficult to manipulate the will of an Arian. All right, it's not easily done. And if the Aries is already having sexual relations with someone else, that bond is going to start being formed. When sex starts happening with the Aries, the bonding starts happening. It's like dogs and heat. They start playing together. They get a sniff of each other's scent. It's very difficult to pull that apart or separate it. Nothing will bring an Aries closer to you than a common enemy. They'll see you as an ally. They'll see you as you're on their side, and you two of you are going to battle it out with that other person. So you've got to be on their side. That's why the dark side of Aries is very combatantish in arguments. They want you to see things their way, and they will browbeat you to do that. Same with the Scorpio Mars, they'll do that as well. So if they're in a job or a workplace and there's no room to grow or go up, they'll leave. They have a lot of loyalty mostly to themselves. All right. And I don't want this to come across as too hardcore, but this is the type of partner that you're going to have. All right. So be calm, be safe for them. Be rational. Don't give them everything straight away. Just Give them pieces of yourself. Don't give it all up. All right. So that's how you seduce them and keep the mystery, keep them coming back, keep them interested, keep them inspired, keep them enthralled. This will keep them stimulated. Okay. We also have to take into account where the Aries placements are, because Aries being the first house, like being the baby, the first kind of energy coming into its own sense of self. A big challenge in Aries' life is understanding other points of view outside of the baby's point of view, because the baby can't understand anything outside of itself. So a very low functioning Aries will be a egomaniac, and they like to be lawyers. They like to battle things out. They see life as a fight, a battle. And they see it as the size of the dog in the fight, not the size of the fight in the dog, not the dog in the fight. There's a lot of Aries out there that are very young and very kind of smaller in stature, and they'd rip your face off. Okay, they're like a little pocket rocket. Yep. So have a desire to take risks with them, and have a desire to explore life. Play games with them, like tennis games, physical games. Let them win. Let them think they're, fabulous. It's a bit of a game. Like they like to play PlayStation, driving cars fast, that type of thing. Fast, fast, fast. They don't like slow, slow, slow. They're out the door. Okay? Be strong. Be graceful. Power, dignity, respect, mutual greatness is how you win these guys for life. That is the pathway to Aries in Venus. And it can be a very beautiful lover. I hope that this video hasn't translated in a really hard, mean way. It's just being truthful about this energy and this sign in matters of love. Okay? They do have a gentler side. Not all Aries are like this. But of course, it's all subject to the positioning on their chart and where it's all based. But the building block of an Aries is very susceptible to other components of its chart as to how placid it's going to be. These guys are like a volcano. They can have a horrible temper, but once they soften, the temperament softens, and they're just like big kids. They just want to play, and something shiny over here distracts them. Someone new walks through the door and suddenly it's caught the Aries eye. It's just how they are. So I will leave it here. I think I've said quite a lot. It's a lot to unpack. It's a lot to unpack in this recording. This was Venus in Aries, Aries in love. Please subscribe to my channel if you found this insightful or helpful. And I will see you in the next video. It's been fun. Lots of love and lots of support. So anyone out there, just keep going. That's the secret, guys. Just keep on fucking going. Okay, bye.